I'd start by addressing the other side's address of cost significance and the problem of creating a registry. The thing about that is that there's already a registry for our opt-in, so it could easily just be altered to take the place of, to act as a new opt-out registry. So that would actually not be a cost issue there. It's also easy to switch out. A source for this is the Vanderbilt Center for Health Policy. They showed that upon approval by the legislature, presumed consent be implemented easily. The nation or state can simply move from an opt-in system to an opt-out system. And persons wishing to opt out of the system and be registered as a non-donor would only have to check a box on their tax form or driver's license. And everybody else would be considered a donor. Also from the Vanderbilt Center for Health Policy, they show that our current system is inadequate. So something obviously has to change because the system is not getting the organs it needs to the people who need them. So current organ transplantation policies are not working. Whether it's a lack of adherence to the UAGA or reliance on the outdated policy of altruism, the result is the same. The list of people waiting for an organ is getting longer and more people are dying unnecessarily. While proper adherence to current policies will certainly help, such as the family, consulting with families, our nation must consider new solutions such as presumed consent. And on addressing the family say, the donor's decision to having not opted out on the tax form, their decision to not opt out and have presumed consent outweighs the family's decision. And from the National Center of Biotechnology, 77.2% did not think that consultation of the family should be required if the potential donor was already not in the opt-out system. And the population agrees that donation is good. This is taken from DonateLife.net. 90% of Americans say that they support donation. So opt-out increases donation rates. Like my partner said before, presumed consent law or practice was associated with an increase in organ donation, increases of 25 to 30%, 2.7 more donors per million population, and 6.14 more donors per million population. And that was a study done in the British Medical Journal. So as far as going back to the family guilt for not opting out, Veronica English from the is the deputy head of medical ethics, and she wrote an article that presumed consent is the answer to organ shortages. Presumed consent is good for those who support donation because they have to make no effort to ensure their wishes are followed. It's also good for those who oppose donation because their wishes will be formally recorded and must be followed also. So it's also good for families because they are relieved of the burden of decision making when they have just been told their relative has died or is dying. And it's good for those who need a transplant because more organs will be available and more lives can be saved. And regarding the claim that there will be significant opposition to the proposition of the opt-out mandates. There was a study done by in Columbia University that recorded 739 respondents. 75% supported presumed consent. And the next of kin decision is still accounted for. It still has considerable influence, and they're still consulted, but it's not. It doesn't have to be. They don't have to be in the end if the person's not in the opt-out system. It's more effective that way. So regarding the idea that there are ethic problems with the opt-out system with the families, there's actually an ethical imperative for opt-out because proponents of presumed consent show that there is an ethical imperative for the benefit of society because it has increased donation, and the main goal of organ donation system should be to get organs to all people who need them. And the process of organ donation and its effect on consent from the National Center of Biotechnology shows that legislative efforts to increase donation practices have not been successful, but this is because an emphasis on the process is needed to help explain this. A number of discussion and HCP characteristics are associated with a family's willingness to consent to organ donation. Further study is needed to determine if interventions based on the characteristics identified in the study will increase consent to donation. Thank you.